Welcome to Drinks and Drive. We are Drive, and here are our fucking drinks.
Yeah. No, only me that saved it. Opening
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Mine's already
Just
open.
fucking open it. And fucking open some drinks. I've already got one, but this is gonna go down here. But you need the sound. You need the sound effect, especially for the podcast listeners. Right. So today, what are we talking about? Today, we're talking about our roles in the band and what we're trying to achieve within our specific roles.
And I guess what people should be looking at within a band to be looking at being mindful of when trying to achieve being a band. And I think like kind of what everything we don't do, we're relying on someone else to do. So it's that kind of it reinforces the trust within the band and like kind of what you should be looking for in band members and shit like that. So anyway, so we'll start with obviously writing the song, the initial lyrics and chord progression, which is what I do. No. So like I write songs. Like we won't talk about the songwriting process. That's a different episode entirely. But like obviously, what I'm trying to achieve when writing a song is, I mean, like, and people ask if it's what comes first, the music or the lyrics, and there's no right answer. They both come first in different situations. Sometimes the riffs come first, sometimes the words come first, blah, blah, blah. What came first in HERNE?
Oh, that's good.
The riff.
I did.
So the riff.
The riff came first, and I wrote words for the riff.
Okay.
Because, HERNE the Hunter, that riff is... You can't, like, I think
every day.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be the riff first with that. I mean, riff-based music usually is the riff comes first, in my experience anyway. But yeah, so...
but you say that, and then, like, when we were talking about guilt, I think it was, where, like you said, you got up in the middle of the night and you just had some lyrics you wanted to write, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, actually, there's the bottom line for all this stuff is like you've got there's something that you want to express, and it comes out in either musical form or it comes out in lyrical form, right?
Yeah, for sure, and it always it has to come out, and that's like the inevitability of it. And I mean, I'm in a situation where my expression comes out in that way of writing stuff, kind of sometimes literally, sometimes dancing around the subject, being more poetic about it, but I know what I'm trying to say. And I think the only time that I'll kind of take specifics out of it is if I want it to be, if I know that it's something that relates only to me or people in the same situation as in the same specific situation that I'm in, which isn't everyone. So I want everyone to, but I know that the situation I'm in or the situation I'm thinking about is the same emotional content as a lot of situations. So in that point, I'll take the specifics out and I'll be more poetic about it. But if I'm talking about like nut up, shut up, I'm talking about the fucking environment, I'm trying to educate, then you have to be specific. But if you're talking about an emotion, then you can dance around it and make it more so that people can listen to it and feel understood, because that's inevitably what everyone wants.
Yeah, but I think it's important to say that, like, in terms of the songs that we're working on at the minute, you are the creative source for those songs. It's not that we're in a band where there's just one creative source, but like everybody's signed up to the idea that
you come up with the foundation.
There's something that needs to be said, right?
Always, but that's because the way, like what I was saying is like the way that I am is the way that I express myself, and the way that things come out is from the ground. I don't do it from a level. I can't do it from a level. So if someone brought me something that they'd done, I'd find it extremely difficult to expand on it. But I'm good at creating from nothing. I'm good at starting it. I'm good at starting something. but expanding on it, that's your guys' job.
This is what I always say that I'm not good at. So I do a fair bit of recording and stuff, and try and record people as much as I can to try and get better at recording. And I whenever I try and record my own songs, because I inevitably that process from start to finish, it doesn't really work for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's better to involve other people in that process. But yeah, the initial thing I find difficult, whereas the taking of something that's already there, and I feel like I have a much better grasp of that than...
Yeah. I just feel kind of with... I think it's a sense of like ownership, maybe, of the kind of like... I don't feel like if someone else was the catalyst or the spark for something, I'd find it hard to imprint myself into it, but you guys don't, because like the fact is when I listen to the tracks, I hear all of you in the tracks, and as much of a part of it as I am, and that's like what makes this band work so well, is the fact that we all have our own input into it. And if I'm the spark, fantastic, because once I'm the spark, that's my job done. and then you guys do the rest of the fucking heavy lifting. I just and the initial thing, I come up with the structure and the lyrics, and then you guys do what you do. And I mean, like, obviously the structure has bearings on what you do, but I mean the everything else, even the chords, don't really have an impact on what you do as a drummer. So it's kind of, but like, and what I've always said with everyone, like, kind of, we've been through changes within the band from when it started and where we are now.
Very much so.
Yeah. And, but I've always said, like, if you want to be in this band, you just have to be better at what you do than I am. Like, that's it. Like, if you can do more than I can at your respective thing, then I'm fucking cool with you being here, because I don't have anything to say to you if you're better than me. Like, and you all are, and like, I think I've been fucking remarkably lucky to have found people who are stratospheres better than me at what they do. So it's just the kind of like, but like, yeah, so in the process of making a song like HERNE THE HUNTER, a song like Sea of Mind, Open Eyes, Guilt, all these songs, I start the ball rolling, and then I leave it to you guys to carry on, which is what I'm doing now. So talk about how you expand stuff, because that's something that I'm really interested in understanding, like all of you, because I mean it's something that I don't know how to do.
I mean, I think it's interesting. Like I feel like, so obviously I don't always write the drums. Actually, there's been a lot of times where, so a lot of the time when you record stuff, you will MIDI in some drums on Logic, some of which is mental, but some of which actually is very musical and very usable, and I take away from that. I may have to adapt some of it.
So you're telling me I write the drums as well? Fucking I'm basically a drummer now.
Basically, I'm Drive. Yeah,
I'm basically John Bonham, man.
No, but I mean, I guess so roles within the band. I mean, again, like, as much as the band has developed, as much as our roles and the sound of the band in general has developed. I mean, when the band first started, when I first joined and first started doing the recording, and that sort of being like my sort of, not role, but also something that I kind of took on. And,
yeah, I mean, I just have to say that, like, obviously Ben being an extraordinary drummer, but not only that, he oversees and records everything that we do, and because he's he's got expertise in that area, and so we're super lucky to have found someone who...
Stop it, I'm going to blush. No, but...
I see your boner. No, I'm joking. No, you see, like, you have, like...
you can't stand up right now.
No, we're extraordinarily lucky to have someone with both of those skill sets that are fucking super important to this band, and we wouldn't have the sound we have without you. But carry on.
How do I follow that? No, but they again in themselves have come on with the band. So like when the band first sort of started, and I still think you hear elements of it in the Hero track. In the like when we first started recording stuff, I had this whole idea in my head of like crossing this sort of like good solid rock sound with this massive cinematic fucking crazy shit that kind of the ball rolled for like 2 or 3 songs, and then you wrote Shadows, and then everything fucking changed. It was like, no, that doesn't work. No, but you know, but I guess if you want to like put my role within everything, you know, obviously I hit things with sticks. That's the main job. And but the thing is, like anything that I do beyond that will eventually, as the band progresses, hopefully, will become silly, and some guy better than me at saying about, you know, I guess like, you know, the role of the producer, like someone will take that role, and then I can just hit things with sticks. Dribble.
Hang out with musicians.
If the stage is level, dribble will come out both sides. But, you know. No, but so yeah, I guess my role at the moment is kind of like I bash things with sticks, and then I also kind of try and through the tracking and the recording be like, maybe that doesn't work. Whoever is doing that, and maybe that, you know, I try and I think it's a thing that I try and do with my drums as well. Although Drive as a band allows me so much freedom to kind of, if I want to play something, unless it's really fucking bonkers, I can probably play it. Yeah. So I can. As a drummer, like especially as a working drummer, when you sort of go out there and you're gigging and you're playing fucking Sweet Caroline and fucking Brown Eyed Girl every fucking week, and you fucking, do you know what I mean? Like restrained. Like Drive is a relief, and that's what. Yeah. It is a big part of it for me, in that I can express myself, and that's nice.
Express yourself.
But I think that's true for probably all of us. It's like all of us are embedded in whatever roles we're doing in the band, but then when it comes around to mixing and mastering of tracks, then you get a moment to step back from your own role and listen to what everyone else is doing, and then you go, oh, that's fucking that's cool. These guys are fucking on it. They're fucking doing something. You know?
But so my role, but it's even happening now. So the EP, the original 3 songs, I mixed, and then Sam mastered. But with Herne,
spoke about Sam in the
so in the previous video, Sam is a friend that I went to uni with in Manchester, and he's very, 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 very good at what he does.
And cheap.
I mean, he knows me. He knows me.
Mates rates.
He's not cheap. For what he does. He's given us a fucking great deal.
If he didn't know me, it would cost more. But
but I mean, take your. I think even if a stranger came up to him and asked him to do that, they'd be like, "Holy fucking shit!"
If considering
for the
what
level
he does,
of work,
Jesus,
he's so good. Like
it always comes back sounding like 400 times better. Than
I AV'd the mix we did, and then the mix he did, and I was like, okay, yep.
This is what it's meant to sound like.
And like when we walked away from that session, I was like, we fucking nailed it. I don't think it gets better than that. It comes back, you're like, oh, it totally does get better than that.
So I think, and as you know, so going back to me, but no, back to like my role.
Enough about me. What do you think about me?
Fuck you, other people. So my role within it is becoming, I guess, more and more about hitting things and less about, and you know that's good. Like I do enjoy the, you know, tracking everything and mixing it to the best that I can, but at the end there's a limit as to what I can do with.
But I think like knowing what not only like kind of the engineering side of things, but because you understand how tracks work and because you have experience in that world, you understand that kind of the like if some, like I know myself, I want to make everything too much a lot of the time. I'm like, yeah, do 80 drum fills and then do like kind of do a solo under the entire song and then like do like fucking super free bass line. Let's go out of the chord here for a minute. Kind of that kind of thing. Like that's how I am, because I just want everything to be like, yeah, we're the best kind of thing. But like I think you're very good at kind of understanding how things really fit together and how it works, because you have that expertise in that situation. And I think even when we come to the point where you don't have that role anymore and someone else is being a producer, you'll still understand within the right process of like what actually works here and kind of how far can we go.
I like
with
to
this.
think so. Like,
yeah. Well, that's something I've learned from you for sure. Like,
yeah. I mean, and I think you know, and for other, you know, people, you know, sort of when you're in a band, I mean, I try and think of it from a drummer's perspective, and you kind of ask yourself these questions, and you just try and ask yourself why more, and you know, why am I playing that drum fill? Why am I? And if you can justify it, cool, sweet, like.
Yeah, it's like beyond like because it's cool.
Yeah, no, but there's some
because it's cool.
No, there's some shit that I've definitely played or I've been told to play by you, and that's literally the only reason I can think as to why I'm fucking playing that. like, it's like Al told me to play it. Okay, what I get is
I mean, like,
Al told me to play it, and I like it. I need no other reason.
Well, I think like when we play live, we play songs slightly differently.
Yeah,
like we do more.
Oh
we
have a bit of fun, don't we?
Yeah. Like there's a certain feel that's in my head right now within Hero, within the second verse, and like it's just a real kind of like, look,
I can play Instincts.
So come see us live if you want to watch that. But
so that's, I mean, I you know, there's not a lot more to really.
Yeah.
You know, but so that from me, that's kind of it. I hit things with sticks and I try and make things better. And full stop.
Yeah.
Dave.
On to Dave.
So obviously my role with Drive has changed multiple times.
I think you have the most difficult job.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of spoken about this.
So originally, obviously, I started on bass before Jim started with us, and fuck, Jim started with us. So I started on bass, and then we got some other guy in to help out for a bit, and then I went on to rhythm guitar, and Al took lead guitar, and then obviously Al sings everything, so
playing lead and singing
is not possible.
It's like just the real head fuck, you know.
So it made sense for me to jump on lead. So I've within the past obviously 6 months, 6 to 7 months jumped around that jumped on lead, which has been it's been good fun. But my kind of main role within it is some of the old stuff obviously is to kind of mimic what Al has written beforehand. Some of the new stuff like Sea of Mind, obviously I've had a bit more of a role of like going, cool, this means I can kind of write some stuff like now, or like HERNE, like the bridges and stuff like that. Obviously you came up with the original riff, which is fucking dope. But most of my role consists of like with the older stuff is like going, okay, here is the melody, does it need harmonies here? If so, where does the harmony go?
I think that's something that
let's also like highlight the fact that you are the lead guitarist, but also your vocals are fucking phenomenal, and as much part of the sound of this band as my voice is. I think like our combination of voices
they blend really, ridiculously well. I mean, with less. Like
I think we could play any real style. If we sing together, then
it works.
I think people will know that it's Drive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
very much.
That's the real kind of.
Yeah, that is very much the gel. Like that.
Yeah.
It's been the gel, like kind of from the start. To be fair,
yeah, like even like you and me are the only the actually original members.
So
when it formed.
Yeah, for those of you out there watching it, like me and Al are the kind of original members, and it started with like vocals and stuff that we kind of worked on. which has been great. And then when it comes to recordings, obviously it's been, okay, we've got this, so let's make Dave sing higher.
I text Dave sometimes when I'm doing a song. I'm like, hey Dave, how do you feel about singing 5 A's in a row? Like, and you do it, man, and you smash it every time out of the park.
That's so we were discussing today, obviously the way I do that is I do vocal exercises instead of drinking, instead of quitting drinking.
As well as drinking.
Well, yes.
Well, that's part of the warm-up, isn't it?
No, I think it is a huge integral part, and we've had, you know, like when we talk about, I mean, I've been in so many bands where like backing vocals are that missing element, and you're in a band and then someone's doing backing vocals and they're shit, and then you're like, oh yeah, it sounds okay, and then you listen back to the video on someone's iPhone live and someone's like nearly semitone flat, and you're like, oh geez, man, like, and I think it's definitely it makes the difference for sure. Like a huge difference.
But I mean, back to the lead though, man. Like the fucking, it sounds like obviously when I like kind of, I think like our new policy of like I'll write a lead line but I'll mute it when I send it to you, because like obviously I write songs and then the lead line pops out at me, for me, like what I'm interpreting as and then I put that on the demo recording and I send it to everyone, and then obviously that makes it a shit situation for Dave, because Dave then has to just play what I wrote, but like, or it's hard to write something when you've got an imprint of something that's already there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, but any time that I've given you something that doesn't have that, you've smashed. I mean, the whole Shadows solo was a brainchild of Dave's, and kind of went like Sea of Mind is like I think is fantastic lead wise, and if you come see us live, you'll hear it. When you get a chance to hear it recorded, it will be a while, but like just come see us fucking live and watch Dave and watch what happens in that song. It's a brilliant song, and I think sorry to fucking just take a lick your ass out and take a bit up, but like
right. I'll take it.
Apologize.
Basically my role involves me screaming down the microphone very high, or playing a lot of notes on a guitar, essentially.
And I think, like, honestly, because as like because I think you're the only member of the band that everyone else plays your instrument in the band. Like everyone else can play guitar and plays it to a decent level, and kind of, so you get the most flack.
This is what I was saying as well. And like he's got the hardest job, because like a lot of the songs that I write as a guitarist are kind of acousticy, and I like a lot of. I mean, we've recorded some stuff together as well, and it's very acousticy to kind of step out of that comfort zone.
It's into a different instrument, man.
It really is.
They're different beasts.
And he was kind of and you were like, and it's going well. It's like
Yeah, man. I mean, like it's
for if you imagine, like you say, like a new instrument within. I mean, you've not yet. When did you start doing lead in the band? It's like less than a year, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
much
less
than a year.
Like,
it's like 6 months,
like,
really, for lead. Like for like lead solely, which is pretty much what's it's become. Roughly kind of 6 months.
Yeah. And
I
mean, that's a fucking testament to practice, isn't it? Like practice is so fucking important.
Well, that's
within the band, and no one's and like just like in a band situation, like you will very soon see, like if you have 2 or 3 members of a band, or like if you have even if it's just one person in the band who's practicing regularly, the rate at which they'll increase is exponentially more than someone who's just playing once a week when they meet up. And so like the practice element, and like that's a testament to you that an honest fact of how they're like the proof is in the pudding. Like if you practice, then you'll fucking be good. Like that's just like practice, be good. Like caveman.
caveman.
How do I be good? What does this practice do? Like you fucking practice and you're good, and that's how it is. And like kind of, and it's a real testament. And like I think, like if you find yourself in a situation in a band where someone's not practicing, say something. And this is very fucking ground level shit. You have to be honest with each other, and I feel like we all are honest with each other. If I fuck up, I know I fucked up, and you tell me I fucked up.
That's why this works.
Same thing.
That's why it has always worked.
And it's all love. There's no fucking there's sometimes it's tough conversations, but you have those conversations and it happens. Well. But I mean, like the fact is that, you're a testament to yourself in everything you do. So yeah,
thank you, man.
Fuck yeah.
On that note.
Well,
low tones.
Yeah, but like I totally agree with that. It's like point one, vocal harmonies are a difficult fucking thing to do, and you guys are fucking nailing it all the time. Point two is that when you turn up with something I haven't heard before, like in terms of lead work, you could just feel that the whole thing get lifted. It's like, because that's what lead guitar's about. It's like it punches you in the chest. It's like
it's instinctive as well.
Yeah.
I think like
when it works, it's like, oh yeah, that's what that song needed.
That's what makes you cry. You know, that's the real like. Oh no, I'm fucking crying. Like it's
like my third eye.
It's almost like a vocal in a way. It's right. It's like when someone is playing lead guitar and it hits that emotional level, then it brings the song up to another level, and that is how I feel about what Dave's doing. And that is completely separate from the fact that he's always done incredible like backing vocals, which is not an easy task to take.
Especially dealing with my asks.
Dave, sing C.
Yeah.
No.
What was the name?
Dave, what's your range? Oh, I go up to this note. What about a note higher?
Dave, sing that note.
Yeah.
No. No.
How about mine a third higher?
Oh, but I'm singing that note. You're gonna have to go higher, man.
No, what was in Shadows? What's the?
C's.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah. C. That's Ness and Dorma by Pavarotti. That kind of high level. World class, Dave. World class.
I couldn't agree more.
Squeeze the bollocks.
It's got a bollock squeezer.
Yeah.
That lives underneath him.
It just stays there. It's ready for drag.
We pay him £9.30 a month.
What?
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 I don't know.
I'm not a prostitute, man.
What the fuck? That was an oddly specific number, man. Do you know like a professional pool squeezer?
How much we pay him?
Oh, you were talking about pool squeeze.
I was.
You pay like a subscription fee.
Fucking hell, man.
Ballsqueezers.com. It's really subtle. Just log on there, pay £9.30 a month. Very reasonable.
Someone will squeeze your balls.
Yes, I meant to say a week as well. It's still not good rate.
I ain't squeezing no one's balls for £9.50 a week.
Who's taking £9.30 a month?
Someone who's in it for the passion. They're not in it for the money. They're in it for the love, you know? Some people are just passionate about squeezing balls, bro.
Yeah.
And they'll take what they can get. They're just surprised they can get paid to do it. Anyway, Chips.
Right.
Yeah. I can't really follow that.
You can't follow that. Jim plays bass. Good night.
Well, like the truth is, like we used to jam together in the West End, and it's like I love jamming, but this is a band that is not about jamming. But I want to bring some jamming bass into Drive. I want to have both those things going on at the same time. It's like you need to like, I don't know, it's like
I think there's space for it. I think definitely in
it's like
well, Man in Black was a jam.
But this is it.
That was we were really fucked at practice, and I think I don't know, it was just down, and then that became a song. So I know what you're saying. Like,
well,
but,
so this is it. It's like like this is probably like blowing the whole thing wide open, but it's like there's a musical theatre vibe in this band, right? Because we all come from very different backgrounds. I come from like a kind of punky indie rock background, and like Ben, you come from like a disciplined fucking play.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe
yeah. Like, no.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a bit. No. You know, but like, yeah. I mean, I've gone through phases of being like, you know, a lot of indie rock, a lot of punk, a lot of like, I feel like when I was sort of 16, if it wasn't metal, it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So like, do you know what I mean? So I went through that phase, and then it was like the whole Stigs era, which was like indie
Arctic
rock,
Monkeys,
like Arctic Monkey. People, when they took the piss out of us,
sort of
people used to call my old band the Arctic Kings of Kasabian, because like that's basically what was like literally like. So yeah, I went through that phase for a bit, and then when I went to uni, I did the whole kind of wanky discipline. Like, I'm sorry, that sounds like really bad on people that actually practice their instrument. Like,
you stupid practice person.
No. Be like that wanky dickhead. You know, at some point, and you know, and
well, you need
to achieve that.
Need to be like, you're studying fucking opera. Like, you've studied drums. I've done grades on guitar. You're fucking punk.
I came from a background where if you studied your instrument, you were fucking out. So at that point, you're out of the band. It's like, and so I only wanted to like bring this up because it's like, I think it's like a really interesting thing that is happening in this version of Drive, is that like you got really opposite ideas of what music should be about in terms of expression or about like showmanship, and it all comes together, and what it does when it comes together is like it fizzes in a fucking weird way.
There's the energy when we play together.
Even like down to, for example, today's practice, like for those of you watching today, like we obviously had practice today, like we're all sweaty as fuck and smell like fucking arse.
Which when this goes out will be like 3 weeks ago.
But yeah, like, so, and like today, like you went into practice, like Ben was like moving some shit around, came in like for the last hour of the practice.
Yeah, I moved house today. Never move.
Yeah, don't move. But like the whole practice, like everyone was like fucking boom. Ben, I'm surprised didn't break sticks.
Yeah, man, it was good.
It was a good fucking practice.
Yeah, it was. It was a fucking sick practice.
I was only there for 40 minutes of it,
like,
and it was banging practice.
It's one of those things, man. Like, just at that point, I think we've like arrived at the point where I wanted us to be, where it's just that kind of like,
butterflies of enjoyment.
Yeah, like everything's easy now.
Yeah,
and like we're we're not switching off or anything like that, but it's just the kind of like, there's so much kind of, like, obviously there's certain songs like Shadows and stuff, which we've been playing for probably over a year now, which is just so automatic, but it doesn't feel old, and we're still finding new ways to fucking make it sexy, you know, like, and but the level at which we're doing that is so extreme, and it's such a small difference, but we notice it. But I think that's what makes a live performance exceptional, is when it's that kind of like, you've gone that little bit extra and keep going further, and it's something real, and it doesn't feel old or stagnant. And
I think the fact that we all, with granted, obviously Sea of Minds, for example, is quite new, and there's one or two songs that are
but when you know, you know.
But like most of the songs now, we go, okay, we've practiced this a few times, I can trust everyone knows what they're doing. Okay, I want to go off on a tangent here. Like, this is okay, because I know these guys will cover me if I fuck up. Yeah. And it's just like...
You don't even feel like it's possible that you can fuck up. You're like, there's no way I'm fucking, is it?
Yeah.
And like, if someone else fucks up whilst you're playing live, you're like... Is that a sound guy problem? Because it definitely wasn't my fucking band. Like...
A great tutor at uni once told me that, like, you shouldn't practice something till you can play it right. You should practice it till you don't play it wrong. And I think when you can play it on a bass line like that, which with the set is basically there now, like, you know, unless someone's going out on a limb or tries something new in the practice room, it's not going to go right. Do you know what I mean?
No,
and even...
And it doesn't fucking matter if it goes wrong. Like, if you try, like, the fact that the bass is there, if you try something live in the spur of the moment, you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to just do something different, and you go for it. If you fuck up, if I did that, if I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to go for a fucking super high note, or I'm going to like, and then at that point, if I fuck up, I know that I'm not going to turn around to a bunch of pissed off faces because I always fuck up. I'm going to turn around and everyone's going to be cracking up whilst like struggling to play their instrument because I fucked up that bad. Like, and like,
or like you've wandered off from the microphone to solo at the front of the stage and then you
forgot that. All right. Not that ever happened.
But like it's a lot of fun to play with you guys. It's like it's just like I've been in a bunch of bands and I've never had more fun than I have with Drive, man.
Fuck yeah, man. I think that's like at the core of us is like we're a fun band. Like I think in like as people we're like we enjoy having fun and like we're funny people. We're not like I'm a super serious artist, bruh. Like it's kind of like like we like to take the piss. We like to have a drink and we like to have fun. And I think that's what we bring to our live show. And I think in our music, I mean, Not For Sale especially, it's like a real kind of fun.
Proper piss take.
Yeah, like it's a fun song. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's rock and roll. And it's like
talk at the same time.
Quite a serious subject. It's arguably like about quite a serious subject.
I get to ask my question.
Yeah.
Who is Not For Sale about?
Well, yeah, so it's not specifically about...
Come on, don't lie.
It's not. It's like,
I know who it's about.
Who's it about?
No.
No, it's not like... I mean, maybe certain instances of certain people. It's not. It's more like a conglomerate.
We work in the same business, so I know who you're talking about.
Honestly, it's like a conglomerate of the worst of people that I see, and like the worst of kind of like the fucking like the hipster culture of that fucking like I want an 18 word coffee order. It's like, no man, just fucking order a coffee, like, or like keep it to 5 words minimum, like but like it's just kind of like it's more about like the way things are going and the way that people. We're back. What were we saying? Yeah, so it's kind of like like about how the kind of people of like the artisan tweed ingesters, like fucking, like, do you know what I mean? Like eat tweed and shit, fucking.
I mean, we're not saying that if you wear tweed that you're a cunt, but
you probably are.
I think I'm saying that.
Yeah, if you're wearing tweed, just like think about some shit, yeah.
Tweed's warm, man.
No, I think just like the kind of I was just so fucking sick of being talked down to by a bunch of cunts who don't fucking really understand life, and like and a lot of it came from I used to work as a bouncer, and like especially when I was working in Shoreditch, man, because you just fucking come across these people who have no fucking idea how life works for someone who doesn't earn $100,000 a year, or whose parents don't earn a bunch of money, and they have this holier than thou fucking attitude, and you're just like, you know what, fuck you, and like I'm just fucking sick of you, you cunts, you're everywhere, and like this is London, and that's how it is, unfortunately, and they ruin. They're like an infestation, man. These people that I talk about on Not For Sale, like they're just like an infestation. They come into a place, and then there's 10 of them, and then there's 100 of them, and then there's a Starbucks that opens, and then there's a Whole Foods, and now I can't afford to live here anymore. Like what fucking happened? What the fuck? Like it's happened in like a year. And
the whole of Peckham.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, man. Peckham and like fucking Shoreditch, Brixton, everywhere. No, you can't afford to live in fucking these areas anymore because a bunch of fucking rich cunts moved in and ruined it. And like, I'm not fucking against people who have money at all. Like, if you have money and you're a nice person, then I'm all about you. I'm all for you. But if you're a dickhead, then just don't be a dickhead. Like, Not For Sale is about you if you're a fucking dickhead. But if you're a dickhead, you probably don't know you're a dickhead, so it doesn't matter. But
yeah, the thing is,
and they're sat there like, yeah, these fucking dickheads, man.
Are we allowed to talk about Not For Sale yet?
What?
The interesting thing that might be happening.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so
what are we talking about?
Classic Rock magazine.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like so.
So in a certain magazine.
So I'm surprised this hasn't come up yet, but Classic Rock magazine, Not For Sale, will be in that magazine and also on that CD that is passed around to thousands, millions.
By the time this comes out, it probably would have already happened. By the December 2019 issue of Classic Rock magazine, they do a CD every month of kind of their selection of the best up and coming bands. Don't know why I did the CD shape 15 times
in a square.
But yeah,
you didn't even do the CD shape. You did the CD.
So they do this CD, right? That's
plastic. Remember CD around since like 2000.
They do this like cassette. They do the CD, yeah. But, they do a CD every month of a certain selection of bands. And Not For Sale is going to be featured in Classic Rock 2019 December issue. So grab a copy, listen to us and listen to the other bands on the CD, and invest in Classic Rock because they invested in us. That's obviously a huge fucking thank you to them, and this is like a great opportunity for more people to. And if you're watching this because of Classic Rock magazine, then you're proof that it worked.
And thank you.
And thank you for coming here and watching us and listening to us, and we appreciate.
If you made it this far, like.
Yeah,
it's like super hats off.
Yeah.
If you come to a show and say you made it this far, I'll buy you a pint. Just say the code word. £9.30 a month.
But you have to do the other thing as well.
Yeah, ball squeezers anonymous. Cool. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you for watching. We've been Jive drinking far too much.